Keep your radio dial right here. You're locked into the hottest news station on the planet. Hot 702.5 in FM sound. Blazing today's hip-hop, R&B, and pop music. Keeping your radio on fire. Bringing you the hottest, realest, riskiest talk shows live 24/7 on hot7025fm.com.
Tune in now on hot7025fm.com.
Hi. Hey.
What's up? All your favorite artists.
Check it out. Say my name. DJ Khaled. This is Mila J. Bruno Mars.
On hot7025fm.com.
What's going on, everybody? It's your main man, 360, the poet from the Morning Wood, and I'm here to talk to you about the Sci-Fi Center. It's your Vegas home for science fiction, horror, and fantasy. From comic books, toys, and posters to movie screenings and live events, they've got you covered. Located at 900 Cameron Avenue, Suite B209, give them a call, 702-900-4335, or reach them at thescificenter.com. It's your main man, 360, the poet from the Morning Wood. And are you looking for the perfect drink? Well, you found it. Mimosa Royale is the perfect combination of California's sparkling white wine and natural juice that is both tasty and refreshing. No artificial colors or flavors, no sugar added, and it's gluten-free. As the world's first ready-to-drink mimosa, Mimosa Royale is perfect for any occasion, day or night. You no longer have to drink 12 of those seltzers just to get that perfect buzz. At 8% alcohol, Mimosa Royale is the perfect drink to party with. Offered in a variety of flavors and sizes, you are bound to find a Mimosa Royale that you'll love. We have berry, mango, apple, and orange, with more flavors to come. Mimosa Royale is the most award-winning flavored wine that serves in bottles or cans. You can find them online at drinkmimosa.com or find them at your local liquor store. Ask for it by name. Mimosa Royale.
Boom, 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 boom. What's happening, y'all? What it do? Wagwan is what I like to say. You know what I'm saying? When I speak to my interpatois person. Yeah, man. We back. It's hump day, baby. That means it's time to holla at the homie. And I'm the homie. I'm y'all homie. I'm everybody's homie. So, and my name is 360 the Poet. That's THAPOET. Make sure you spell it right because it means something. Tenacity, heart, and attitude presents opportunities every time. Good to see everybody that's tuning in. If you're tuning in, make sure you hit that share button. Hit the like, hit the share, hit the subscribe if you want to, man. That's always a way to kind of make sure you stay in tune with what we got going on here at Hot 7025 and also with Holla at the Homie. What up? What up? I'm still in it. Maybe because we really have the best. See, you don't care who. Anybody that went to the other one, if they've ever been to TSU homecoming in the United States of America. So I want to get that shake. Gave me October. If we go back to it from the couple of years ago where we had pep rally first, then we walked down the hill back to Ed Temple Stadium in the back side of things and had the concert back there. But Jeezy came out, he showed up and showed out. out there in the hole, aka Hell Stadium. And that's how we kicked off Friday. But Thursday was the welcome weekend. Thursday, man, I'm telling you, anytime you come into town for a homecoming weekend, make sure you get there Thursday, because that's going to let you know exactly who all's in town, who's coming in, give you a chance to say what's up before the weekend gets going. And big shout out to my homegirl Janelle Massey, because she been out there catching everybody that treat homecoming like a sprint instead of a marathon, and they out there sleep in public, and she catching them all. So she got the knocked out files, and it ain't talking about nobody getting knocked out by hand, but just being knocked out in public, meaning you sleep because you had a little too much to drink or something like that. So it's not making fun of people, it's just letting folks know, take it easy, take it slow, because homecoming, like the internet, is undefeated. So it was really, really, really a whole lot of love, but we're going to get off of that and get into why we here. You at the number one space in the world for advice, whether it be online or in person, at Holla at the homie. And you know what we do? I'd like to let y'all know, first and foremost, I have not been trained, even at my fine institution of Tennessee State University. I only had one psychology class, so I've never been trained in psychology, psychiatry. I've never been trained in any type of counseling. But what I have done, I like to let y'all know that I've lived a very colorful life. And in this colorful life, I've scooped up some game, I've sponged up some game, and I squeeze it back out to y'all over the airwaves each and every Wednesday on hot7025fm.com, Facebook Live, Instagram Live, and also TikTok Live. So with that being said, we're going to dive into today's letter, and it goes a little something like this. Dear Holla at the Homie, whew, I never thought I'd be writing into a podcast for advice, but here I am. Because honestly, I don't know where else to turn. 15 years ago, I made a choice that I thought was the best one at the time, or at least the easiest. Back then, I was engaged to a wonderful man who loved me deeply, but during a rough patch in our relationship, I ended up sleeping with someone I used to be close to, an old associate. Not an ex-boyfriend, but someone I definitely should not have crossed that line with. A few weeks later, I found out I was pregnant. The timing made it unclear who the father was. I panicked. My fiance was thrilled about the baby, and I convinced myself it was his. Or maybe I just needed it to be. We got married, raised our child together, and for 15 years, I've lived with that secret buried so deep, I almost believed that it wasn't there. But secrets have a way of coming to the surface. Recently, through a mix of curiosity and modern DNA testing, thank you, technology, the truth came out. My child is not my husband's, and it is my old associate's, and now everything is falling apart. My ex-associate is furious, not because he missed out on paying child support, but because he missed out on a whole life with this child. My husband, well, he's heartbroken, betrayed, and questioning everything that I do. And my child, my sweet 15-year-old, is livid. They feel as if their entire identity was a lie, that we robbed them of knowing who they really are. I know I can't undo the past, but I want to make things right. I've apologized over and over, but my words don't seem to be enough. My husband barely speaks to me. My child doesn't look at me the same, and the biological father won't take my calls. Homie, I don't even know where to start. How do I rebuild trust when I'm the one who broke it? How do I help my child heal when I'm the one who caused the wound? And is it even possible for the man who raised them and the man who fathered them to coexist? And is it possible to do it in their life without making things worse? Worse, signed, Living with the Lie. Woo-wee! What's up, Tyrese Russell? What's up, 2 Anointed 78? Big up to all y'all that's jumping on here. Man, listen, this one right here is a biggin'. This a biggin' right here, dog. Now I've heard of, mama's baby, daddy's maybe, and all that kind of stuff, right? Now that's usually what people say it is. It's mama's baby, daddy's maybe, right? But today, man, first of all, make sure y'all hitting that share button. But today, this is daddy ain't even know type situation. So I want y'all to thank y'all first and foremost for tuning in to Holla at the Homie, the place where we unpack the situations and that don't normally come with a manual. And this one right here definitely does not come with the owner's manual and instruction manual. And if y'all don't know by now, I am your host for the day, 360 the Poet, each and every Wednesday. So our letter comes from a woman who calls herself Living with the Lie. Now, a man, she's been carrying a heavy lie for 15 years. Now, that's a long time. It's a decade and a half. That's a long ass time to hold on to a secret. 15 years. Long story short, she got pregnant during a complicated time in her engagement, and she wasn't sure who the father was, right? So now, what's up, Sapphire K? Kiki, I was hoping to see you this weekend. But she long story short, she got pregnant by somebody while she was having a complicated situation, while she was on a quote unquote break, or while things weren't as copacetic at the crib as before. While on a break, she got pregnant by an old associate of hers, not an ex-boyfriend. She said it was just simply an old associate, somebody who she should definitely not have crossed that line with, right? But now, with that being said, what she did was she held on to this as if this baby that she had was the man who she was engaged to, the man who she was about to marry, did belong to her and her beau. But in reality, that wasn't the truth. Right? Fast forward 15 years in modern DNA testing and Ancestry.com or, 23andMe, whatever it was, they decided to say this ain't the surprise. This ain't your baby daddy's baby. This ain't your husband's baby. This is now your old associate who you can call your baby daddy now. Now, secrets have a way of sneaking themselves out, right? The truth has a way of coming out, right? What's up, DJ Do Wrong? What's happening with you, baby? Good to see you on here. High 7025's finest. What's up, Asha Janine? Now, so secrets have a way of popping out, right? So with that being said, the biological father is angry. The husband's heartbroken, and the teenager is furious. What'd you say, Danica Carpenter? One, she petty as hell for going through all that with the secret, and she should. Damn, I wish I could see this bigger on the screen. Where my engineers at? You know what I mean? And I feel you, Danica Carpenter. Oh, exactly. And that's true. She did some unnecessary stuff for no reason. And that's the thing I'm trying to get a better grip on. Why was it necessary for you to, would you say you mad at this letter? I'm confused by the letter. I mean, not confused. I'm surprised by the letter because you hardly ever hear the woman holding on to the secret. It's usually the man saying I ain't got no kids by nobody. I ain't my baby, something along those lines. But when the woman holds the secret, this one was low key surprising to me, So now, you got to think, you starting this whole thing off with 2 strikes and a foul ball. You know what I mean? You're not completely out. What you call yourself living with the lie. You're not completely out. You're not out, but you up against it. It's 0-2 with a foul ball on you, because strike 1 is, you did wrong by not telling the biological father that it was even a possibility that the baby could be his. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he had questions, or he might even ask yo, you sure that's his baby type thing, But at the same time, you probably was nah, this is his baby. Da 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 da. Yeah, we had our one time. Now, if you told this man that it was not his child, and then come back to tell him later on that it is, then now you extra foul. That's strike 1. That's strike 1. Okay. Strike 2 was you not telling your baby. You got to tell this kid hey, I know we're going to call your husband John. I know you love John as your dad, but there's a possibility that he may not be. And that's something you and the baby could have held on to for years if you wanted to handle it that way. Right now, see, the question is why would you go into it with both of those without any information being given whatsoever? You say, now there's plenty of women planting kids on men, knowing it's a possibility that it could be someone else's. And that's usually how this unfolds. Now, I get it, but they don't normally keep well, I guess it could be a secret thing because they know who baby it is and they just want it to be somebody else's. So you're right about that, Danica Carpenter. Good way to get me back in check. They're letting me know that there's plenty of women out there that's been doing this, but just not in this capacity. It's normally along the lines of yeah, that's JoJo baby, even though it's Ray Ray baby, But this situation here is low key dirty. I'm not even going to sugarcoat you. What the kids say, I ain't going to hold you. This low key dirty. What's up, Lucky Bamboo 293? Like, so your first strike was not telling the biological father that it was a potentially his kid, right? The second strike was you not telling your kid that they had a potentially different parent. Now, the foul ball, you know what I mean? It may not be a complete strike, but it could be considered one. I'm just trying to keep you up to bat right now. The foul ball is you letting your husband believe that it's his. Now, that part right there, that's just foul. I'm not going to call that a strike against you. I'm just going to call that foul. That's your foul ball right there, right? So if you let him believe that it's his baby, man, like, look at the things you adding up. What's up, Robert Cool, Kyler, checking in? You get my message, dog? I just sent you a voice text. Let me know if you got that. Shoot a thumbs up or something, dog pound. But, you know, like, so that's something to let you know, like, you 2 strikes and a foul ball on you. So now what are you going to do with it? Let's talk about this. Let's find out a way that we can say, hey, something on here ain't going the right way, and we got to try to figure out what we're going to do about it, right? So first off, living with a lie, I just want to say thank you. I'm going to say thank you because you gave me a juicy ass topic today. You gave me something that make people say things that make you go, You know, I just want to thank you for writing in because it takes guts to own up to something like this publicly. Even though you're anonymous, but it still takes guts to own up to something this publicly, right? What'd you say, Danica? The husband. I can't see. What'd you say? I'm gonna wait. I'll be able to read in just a second. But like, so like you started this off, right? In a foul way, in a weird way, right? What'd you say? Right. And that's another thing. You're right. The husband might have said, well, this ain't my kid, so it's definitely going to be over. You're right about that, Danica Carpenter. You are absolutely right about that. The thing that I'm saying as far as like, you know, you're supposed to at least let this potential husband know, like, yeah, there was a time when we were on a break. It was a time when stuff wasn't going right, and I stepped out a little bit. So I'm just give you the heads up, let you know that things may not be as they appear. You know, and then again, we say the husband as father and taking care of and nurtured and raised this kid as his own, and it's not even his. We would definitely be over. And there you go. Now I got a chance to read your statement. And the father, the husband has done all these things. He's filled in all the blanks as a father. So in essence, he is the father of that child. Because what's the definition of a father? To be a provider and a protector, right? So that father has provided and protected for this baby for so long. Would you say making anybody believe a kid is theirs? Oh my God, my engineers are killing me. It's wrong for any man. So many screens going. I'll just mess with you. I'm always on the fly. But like, you're right, Robert Collett. Making any kid believe that the kid is theirs is wrong for anybody. You're dead wrong. The bigger the strong. You got it going on. That's dead wrong. You're right about that, Robert Kyler. You absolutely right about that. So how are we going to fix this? You know, that's what you wrote me a letter in for, Miss Living with the Lie. How are we going to fix this? You know, I told you I gave you props for writing in and all that kind of stuff. Okay, cool. We got that out the way. But now I can't fix it for you, but I can help you unpack things. And by unpacking things, you can find out exactly what you're working with. You know, I just found that out. You know, when you go places and you travel, you pack some stuff, you may forget it's there. Just like what'd you say? He was a father by choice, and he discovered he wasn't even given a chance. And that's true. He wasn't even given a chance to decide to say, you say he was deceived and not given a choice. He was deceived. But at the same time, he probably was bragging about this baby, you know, proud of this baby. Because I love the fact that they left it gender fluid because, you know, it could be a boy, it could be a girl, you know, something along those lines. But at the same time, like it could have different repercussions based off the gender, right? So I'm glad they left it gender fluid and open. That way it can be an objective way to talk about this, right? You know, because this father, this husband, and probably doted over this child, right? You know, and said everything that you wanted to do, you know. But I'm going to tell you like this. Like I told you, I can tell you how to unpack it. And hopefully within something, appreciate you, Rob. Hopefully within something in there, you can find out how to fix this for yourself. Now, I'm going to keep it 100 with you, though. I'm going to keep it 100 with you. There is no way that you are going to walk out of this clean. What do you mean by that, 360? I'm telling you exactly what I mean. There is no way that you are going to walk out of this clean. Meaning you started off with dirt, right? You mix that with some sweat and some tears, and all that equals is a muddy situation. There's no way for you to be able to walk away from this clean. So let's get that established and understood. Let's get one thing understood. You know what I mean? There's no way for you to walk away from this clean. So once you understand that and you've established that, then you can find a way to try to not feel as dirty coming out on the other side. Okay? And so now how do we go? First and foremost, when the truth shows up later on in a situation, it always has a way to drag pain with it. You know, when the truth is in the forefront of it all, pain isn't as hurtful. It dissipates a little bit when somebody is able to be met with the truth first to give them an opportunity to decide on how they are going. You say, gonna get a little muddy. Exactly. You're right, Rob. And you know what I'm saying? The truth helps kind of like ease the blow a little bit, right? You know, but pain doesn't have to be permanent. That's what I want people to understand. There's no easy way when it's, you know, things that are exposed. You're gonna come clean later on before it blows up. I mean, come clean before it blows up for you later on is what I'm trying to say, right? If you don't, the thing about you understand is you made a choice out of fear, not out of malice. You were scared. Okay? So I get that. I understand because the truth comes in stages. It does. You're right, Robert Collett. The truth does come in stages. But if you put it all on the main stage, then people have a way to kind of act 1, act 2, act 3 of that truth. But you got to present it all to them. You have to present it all to them. You know? And it won't all come out at once. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, you got to break this down in stages. You know, act 1, act 2. Like I was saying, like you have to be able to dissect it to give it to people in portions. You don't want to just force feed somebody all the truth because they'll lose track of what it all started with. Once the pain starts to set in, they're no longer hearing you. Have you ever been hit on the football field, or have you ever been punched and you can't hear anymore? Like in the middle of a fight. Like you black out because somebody hit you so hard that you're not hearing nothing. So now you just going, and you just throwing blows. You know, so either you're going to land them or the fact that they going to miss and they going to tag your ass, right? So now, how do you handle it? You know, again, like I said, you made a choice out of fear. This wasn't a malicious thing. You said in your letter, like you thought it was the best thing for everybody. True enough, it may be it's selfish as hell. It's selfish as hell. But you thought it was the best thing for everybody. And that's okay if that's what you thought. Because it wasn't a malicious act. It was a frightful act. You know, you were scared of losing love. You were scared of the judgment people were going to place on you. You were scared of what people would think. And the thing about fear, you know, even though it's false evidence that appears real or face everything and run, the thing about fear, what's up, Lady G4? The thing about fear is it will have you making long-term decisions off of short-term emotions. Ooh, you want me to rewind that? The thing about fear, it will have you making long-term decisions on short-term emotions. You know, but another thing about fear-based choices is they always send you the bill later. What up, Big Stacks? They always send you the bill later. Appreciate your new subscriber. You know, the thing about that is, you know what I mean? That's the point. Like it's one of those bills you get later, like Fingerhut. You know, when you let the truth out in installments, it's going to come back. The bill going to come back due like Fingerhut with interest. And it's going to take you forever to pay that off. And 15 years is a long time to have that Fingerhut bill of feelings building up against you. That's a long time. What's up, Shatika Davis? You know, that's a long time. So now the thing about the husband, right? Let's talk about him. The husband is, he raised this child thinking that it was his own child, thinking it was his own flesh and blood. He loved this child. He provided for this child. And like I said earlier, he probably bragged his ass off about this baby. I mean, what father wouldn't? What proud father would not brag about their child, right? Whether your child is athletic, whether your child is a genius, whether your child is just beautiful, whatever it is. But the thing about that is as a dad, do you start to look at this kid and be like, well, where are the features that belong to my ancestors? Where are the features that go along with, what I look like as a kid? What's up, Major Malik? Like, where are the things that pop up, like you say in Ancestry.com or 23andMe without checking those things? Where's that nose that look like your granddaddy's nose? Where's those eyebrows that look like your grandmama's unibrow? Like, where is all of that? So as a father, of course, you're going to start to question and think about these things, but before that, you've been bragging on this baby. You've been loving on this baby. You've been providing for this baby, right? But so, yeah, this man is hurt. What's up, Cordova Strong? This man is hurt. And so with pain, you don't just get over pain like that. So he's hurt, but not just on the surface. This hit deep. Because for him, it's just not about infidelity. It's about the identity theft of his heart. You performed identity theft on his heart. And not just because you weren't the person that you represented to be, but the child that he learned and yearned and grown to love is not the same person that he thought this child was in the beginning. You know what I mean? Like, that's the thing. It is not the same person. So you can't rush his healing. The best thing for you to do for your husband right now, Miss, what you call yourself, living with the lie. The best thing for you to do for your husband right now is you can give him some space, give him some time, and give him some honesty in that order. Back up off him for a little bit. Give him a little time to digest it and keep it 100 with him. Be honest. Be honest. Be honest. I can't wait till that comment pop up on the screen, Danica, because you saying some stuff over there. So you can't rush anything into this. Like, these are feelings. Would you say she needs to apologize to everyone and then admit she knew could have been someone else's and she was scared to say something, so she chose to stay quiet and be selfish. It was malicious once she gave birth to the baby and denied the other man a chance to raise his child and create memories, and the husband raised the kid thinking it was his. ... Hurtful. Yes. That's the best word. What's up, Juskia? That's the best word for it. Hurtful. Yeah, she said the kid is 15. She did. Danica Carpenter asked how it was a kid, 15 years old. So this is a teenager. You know what I mean? So with this husband, after you give him that space, you give him that time, and you give him that honesty, don't try to fix it with your words. Fix it with your accountability. You have to show this man with your actions. You can't talk your way out of this. You know what I mean? The best apology is changed behavior. I heard that a long time ago, and that has never, ever left my mind. Because the best apology is changed behavior. So if you still hiding behind this secret, what do you say, off with her head? If you still hiding behind this secret, then you're not changing. So you just hoping that, you know what I mean? Like hoping that she don't say anything, hoping that he don't say anything, or hoping the bio dad don't say anything. If you're doing all those things, hoping to keep yourself with a clean image, then you're not truly apologetic because your behavior isn't changing. So you have to show him with your accountability, right? So now, moving on to your baby. Now this one right here, your baby this cuts deep, because 15 is already a confusing age. Boy, girl, in between. 15 years old, you confused as hell. You don't know what you're doing. Your body changing. What'd you say? She can't be honest with her for 15 years and nothing could say to me. Exactly. And I get that. Like, if they couldn't be honest with you for all this time, what's up, Rundown Night? If they couldn't be honest with you after all this time, it may be difficult for this child to get over it, right? But at 15, everything is confusing, especially in the age of social media, right? Now they're learning the whole backstory about their life has been rewritten. How would that make you feel, Miss Living with the Lie? Think about that. Because, normally I'm on both shoulders. I'm usually angel's advocate, devil's advocate, right? But on this one, I'm just like, come on, man. This is a literal SMH. Shaking my head. Think about your baby and their 15-year-old mind and their 15-year-old energy and their 15-year-old feelings. Because what they're feeling isn't just anger. This is grief. They are grieving the person that they thought they were. They are grieving the story that they thought was theirs. They are grieving the father who they thought was their father. They were grieving the mother who they thought was the honest mother. It's grief that's involved with this 15-year-old baby. And I'm going to keep on calling this kid a baby because at 15, your mind is not developed enough to be called even an adult. So this is a baby, young adult. Call it what you want to call him. Him, her. I'm glad you left it without a gender. The best thing you can do for your baby is to create some room for his or her emotions. What's going on, Mo? What's going on, Mo? What's up, Mo Owens? Like, the best thing you can do is create some room for your baby's emotions. No matter how ugly, no matter how unfair it sounds coming out, because they gonna lash out. Ain't no way they gonna sit on this and be like, okay, mom, right, you're cool, I get it, I understand. No, they about to go bananas on you. They 15. They are 15, and you literally put them in the middle of a reality show of their life. They might reject you for a while. Like, they may emancipate themselves from you for a couple months. Like, I ain't with you. Lying 15 years, I ain't with you. Like, they might say that to you. They might reject you. But the thing you need to do, Miss Living with the Lie, is you cannot disappear. Would you say, hope she has a prayer closet? You right about that, Dakari Kofi. I hope she got a prayer closet, a prayer living room, a prayer whatever. You say her baby is confused now and questioning who he or she really is. Man, young lady, now they have to get to know a new person who they don't even potentially lose the person that raised them. And that's the thing. That's the thing. Now, what's up, Lucy Lowe, babe? That's the thing. You got to be able to understand that your 15-year-old, with all the things that are going through their mind already, is now even more confused on who to call the person that they call their dad, who to go to for help, who to run to when they scared, who to talk to when they feel like they've been betrayed, because you've betrayed them in a way that may be insurmountable for a while. You've betrayed them in the utmost with their identity. Like, you identity thefted with your husband. You've now causing your child to grieve who they thought they were. You know what I mean? So now what is it about this child that you can do to help? Like I said, you cannot disappear. You have to stay consistent. And you have to be the type of parent who shows up even when you don't want to. Because it's going to be some times, what's up, Country Red Girl? It's going to be some times where you're not trying to hear any of that. You're not trying to be a part of any of what this child is about to lay on your ass. You're not trying to be a part of any of it, right? But you have to continue to show up. What's up, Jamal Taylor? Little cuz on the tape, on the build, on the TikTok. So like, you have to be consistent. You have to be present, and you cannot run away. You can't. Even when you want to run away, like Dakari Kofi said, hope you got a prayer closet. You better pray on your own time. You got to be present when this child needs you to be present. Even if they just want to look at you and roll their eyes. You cannot, because the two people that aren't going anywhere in this situation are you and your baby. Are you and your baby. What's up, Allie Hart? Are you and your baby. So now, those are the two that have to be present in each other's lives for the duration of what's going on. You cannot run away. And one of my favorite poems, See It Through, one of the lines says, running from it will not save you. See it through. You know, so you have to see this through with your baby, if nobody else. With your teenager, if nobody else. You have to be able to see it through with him or her. You know, the thing about it is stay present because you created this drama. You came up with this. You decided to design and subscribe to this drama. So you have to face all of this with some patience and with some understanding. Patience and some understanding. Patience meaning you got to wait it out regardless of what's coming your way. Whatever food fight is coming your way. What's up, chicken nuggets, sister-in-law online? Whatever's coming your way, you have to be able to do it with patience and with grace and with understanding. Meaning you have to do your best to understand their perspective. If you're not an empath, you now must become one. If you're not someone who's able to put yourself in somebody else's shoes, you better get you a shoehorn and lace them up. Because you got some walking in their shoes to do. And before you completely understand, before you completely get it. You know, so that's the thing. Before you get before you can come out of this on the other side, you got to walk that walk. That's just your cross to bear right now. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I can't wait to see that one. You know, so now as far as the biological father, he's not just mad you lied. He's mourning also. Would you say, Danica Carpenter, black men already suffer with mental health issues. So now her husband's head is all over the place. Her kid mental health is being challenged. And now the real father's mental health has to be strong because he's having to make up for lost time that wasn't his fault. Shame on her. This is true. You hitting some bullet points over there today, Ms. Carpenter. The mental side of things. That's the part that's going to take the longest to be able to kind of navigate through. That's the maze in which the running is going to take the most out of you in. You know, getting back to the biological father, he's mourning 15 years as well. He's in mourning too. 15 years of birthdays, 15 years of milestones, you know, 15 years of memories. You can't undo that. How do you think you're going to just rewind? Hit five fish, yep. Go back to the beginning and just start over? Nah, my sister. What my wife say, sir? No, sir. That ain't happening. That's not happening. You know? And so with that being said, like, you have to, like I say, go into this with understanding. You can't undo that, but the thing you can do is you can own it. Ownership takes on a lot of the weight. If you take on that weight and say, I'm going to put this on my back like a backpack, I'm going to carry this with me because I've been carrying and holding this or storing this secret away for a decade and a half. Wow. That's 2 life cycle changes. If life cycles change every 7 years, that's 2 life cycle changes that your child has gone through, that your biological baby daddy has gone through, and that your husband has gone through, as well as yourself. 2 life cycle changes that you've denied. So you've been putting this off to the side. So now you got to carry it. Would you say, Sailor Black, you say you're going through this yourself? Oh, man. Prayers to you, brother. Because this is a difficult situation. I appreciate your transparency on that one, my man. You know, and that's a situation where, like I say, a lot of people, like, I had a kid that I thought was mine back in the day, but the mom said it wasn't mine, right? You know, then later on came out that, you know, it could be mine. What's up, Hella Adrian? That it could have been mine. And I lost a lot of years with this child, right? And that turned out to be a situation where it was hard to get over. It was a little, what's up, Henry Monday? Pop Monday in the building. It was hard to get over. It was hard to digest because I had inquired about these things. What'd you say? You riding that secret to the grave. And that's what some people got to do. Some people got to deny till they die. You know, some people will choose to deny till they die. But others decide to be transparent. You know, and the transparency helps heal people. in the lack of knowledge. When people are ignorant to something, it's because they don't know anything about it. But when you don't lack the knowledge, when somebody withholds the information from you, that's not ignorance. That's betrayal. You know what I'm saying? Would you say? I would say it's similar to this situation, and that's understandable. Understandable, and like that's the thing. Like people do get life be lifing to a lot of people in the same way. You know, and again, my prayers are to you to help you come out and navigate through this on the other side with the light being shined on your face, and you know what I mean. And you can share that light. What's up, Mimi? So like with that being said, like when he's ready, when the biological dad is ready, not when you are, when he's ready, not when you are, you need to meet him. Meet him. Not when I don't mean like meet him somewhere. I mean to meet him in the middle with humility, not defense. You can't go into it defensive. Would you say these types of things are goes due to medical issues and conditions? And that's the thing. That's how a lot of stuff comes to light when you got medical issues or situations that are going on with somebody's body. And that's how people a lot of times end up finding out that the biology of their child is not their biology. It's not the same biology. You know what I mean? You go to try to give blood and the A and B ain't adding up. A squared plus B squared equals C squared ain't adding up. That theorem of Pythagoras ain't adding up. That ain't the right angle to approach this thing at, right? So that's what happens. Exactly. You can't take to the grave due to medical issues and conditions. That's right, Danica. You can't take that with you like that. You know, some people want to deny until they die. But in a situation like this, it could be more helpful. You know what I'm saying? Things like that can be more helpful to you in navigating through any situation that may occur. You know, you have to meet this man with humility and not defense. I'm gonna give you an example of something you could possibly say. I was wrong. Let's start with those 3 words. Those are hard ass words for people to say. I was wrong. Let's start there. I robbed you of time that I cannot give back to you. This is humility. You know what I mean? So I was wrong. I robbed you of time that I cannot give back to you, but I do want to do better moving forward. You see how the dominoes line up and lay down? First domino, I was wrong. Second domino, I robbed you of time that I can't give back to you. Third domino, but I want to do better moving forward. Period. No justifications on why you did it. No, but I thought. No, I thought that. No, do you think? Nah, just own that ish. Own it. Own it. Own it. Just ownership. That's it. That's the only way that you are going to have a possible chance of making it beyond this situation with this biological dad. Because I know people not just going to be like, well, you should have told. I'm praying and I'm hopeful that he's not going to say, well, you should have told me 15 years ago. Now, get it how you live. I hope that that's not the occurrence. I'm prayerful that this man is a man and says, you know what? All right, we missed 15, but we're not going to miss the next 60. You know what I mean? Let's go from there with it. I'm prayerful that that's how he's going to approach this situation. Because, true enough, whatever backlash you get, you deserve it. You deserve it. But the thing I want to say is the kid does not deserve whatever pride issues are involved. You know what I mean? Because your husband may be like, well, cuff it. I'm out. I'm leaving you and that baby. Y'all get it how you live. Ain't my kid anyway. Can't come after me for nothing. He could be that way. But again, that child don't deserve that. That child got 15 years of that husband in that house. So that's a long time for that growth and development to occur. You know, the biological dad be like, well, you should have told me. You know, that. So what? Let's get these next years in. And you as the mom, what's up, Leo? You as the mom have to be in the middle, a part of this ownership, and say like, hey, whatever comes my way, I'm willing to navigate through it. Thank y'all for hearing me out. What's up, Life and Times of JP? JLP Deuce. Missed you at homecoming this weekend, bro. But, Carlos Canellas held it down for y'all, man. But, so after we went through all of that, right? So what we say, first and foremost, you got to check in with your husband. Check in with your husband, give him some time, give him some space, and give him some honesty. All right? Because that's the first violation that occurred. Because the baby wasn't born yet when you first told your husband that it was his baby. So start with your husband. Start at home. And then hopefully things can trickle down in a way to where, you start to get a clearer understanding of how to move forward. So start with your husband. Give him space. Give him honesty. But give him some time. You can't have him, well, you need to get over it. What? I wish him. That's when the wish factor kick in. I wish a mofo would tell me when I need to get over something they'd have done to me. Would you say if he signed the birth certificate? Would you say if he signed the birth certificate, he's stuck? And depending on what state, that is the truth, Ruth. Depending on what state. You sign that BC, it's a wrap. I don't care if you ain't got the same blood. They gonna keep you. They gonna hold you. Hold me down. You stuck like Chuck if you sign that birth certificate. So first you said address your husband. After that, address your teenager, and be ready for whatever this teenager gonna say to you, because they hurt. They are hurt. They are grieving who they thought they were. They are grieving who they thought their parents were. They are grieving who they thought they could trust. So you must allow that grief to take its process in your teenager. You must allow that grief to be able to have an arc, because it started from the bottom. Now it's here. You got to try to bring it back down and kind of give it its whole arc, but with understanding. With understanding. What's up, Jocelyn Ibarra? You have to be able to give that allowance. So husband first, teenager second. Then you deal with the bio dad. And again, with the biological dad, the first thing you must do is approach him, meet him in the middle with humility. With, I effed up. I'm sorry. I was wrong. I robbed you of time that I can't give back to you. But I want to do better moving forward to see what we can do for our child. And it still may be a hard pill to swallow. It may be a hard ass pill for him to swallow. But if he a man, he'll take it. He'll take that medicine. He'll put his chest up, his chin up, and he's going to approach that like a father would do. And I'm prayerful that is the outcome between you two. You know what I'm saying? Would you say I'm not hearing any of that? Only hope if you are two or have another child. Man. And that's the thing. Like I hope they got another kid too. What's up, For Analyze? What's up, Madre? You say hope you two have another child or two. Husband needs a legacy. And that's understandable. And because he was excited about this kid, hopefully y'all can either have another one or y'all have already had another one. And then that dynamic, if y'all already got another kid between you and your husband for real, then that dynamic between the kids is going to be something else too. My daddy ain't your daddy. You know what I mean? Kids can be mean, boy. Kids can be evil, especially siblings to each other when they trying to one up each other. So I want you to think about that as well, living with the lie. Because it's a big lie you living with. But again, you have to be honest, open, and patient when dealing with all three that are involved. And not even all three, all four. You have to be open, honest, and patient with yourself. You can't continue to tell yourself like, well, I probably should have done this. No. Which her husband is going to wonder what else she lied about, because this is one hell of a secret to keep for 15 years. Absolutely. And truth be told, Danica, I'm not too sure that her husband didn't know something about it. Because in 15 years, you got to know that this kid don't have your traits. You have to. You absolutely have to. When they don't move biologically like how you move, not the body itself, but the things, their thought processes, the way they talk, the quotes they say, the interest that they have. If none of those are in alignment with your own, then you have to question it all. That's for anybody. That's for anybody. If your child don't line up, you know what I'm saying, mentally and, biologically and genetically in any way that you think they should be going, question. Pose that question. Because 15 years is a long time. It's been a long, long time coming. You know what I mean? So the questions you asked, now back to the main question that you asked. Can the man who raised the child and the man who fathered the child coexist in each other's lives? And my answer to that, maybe. I'm not gonna sit there and say, yeah, they should be all right. They be all right. They kindred spirits. They share a pain. No, I'm gonna just say maybe. But that's not your job to decide. You took all your power in this situation away because the fact that you held this secret. You held your card so close to your chest for all this time. So now you have no say. This is not your job to decide. That's up to those men. Your job is to step back and let those relationships take the shape that they need to without trying to control the outcome. You have to be hands off now. You ain't got nothing to say now, player. Not a damn thing. You ain't got nothing to say. Because at the end of the day, the truth, if you think about it, in situations like this, the truth is it's like a wound, right? It's like a wound, like a gash. It hurts whenever it's exposed. You say they can, exactly. I'll say the same thing. They can both be exist in each other's life because they both were deceived. That's what they have a kindred spirit. But again, it's not up to her to decide that, like the truth is like a wound, right? A scar, or I'm gonna say a gash. When it's exposed, it hurts. And the thing about it is, if you try to keep it hidden, there's no way that it can heal. So now that you done ripped this Band-Aid off, ripped this whole gauze off, this bandage off, now the healing can finally start, even if it's messy. Healing can finally start, even if it's messy. So, homie, this is my advice. Be patient. Be honest. Don't defend your decisions. Just own them. Be patient, be honest, and don't defend your decisions. Just own up to them. Keep showing up, and remember, broken does not mean beyond repair. I'm going to repeat that. Broken does not mean that y'all are beyond repair. Everybody's not Humpty Dumpty. Everybody is not Humpty Dumpty. Some people can be put back together again. Sometimes the truth does not destroy families. It rebuilds them. But it just rebuilds them differently. And it builds them a whole lot stronger. Would you say the husband might struggle being a dad for 15 years, so taking his hands off might not be as well. And I get that. It might not be a bad idea for him to be hands off as well. Because he's, again, that grief. Everybody knows about grief. The people that know about grief, IYKYK. You can never navigate grief. You just kind of just go for the ride. So again, the truth may not destroy y'all family. I'm prayerful and hopeful that it rebuilds it just differently and stronger. So that's today's letter, y'all. It was heavy, but it was necessary, right? If you've ever carried a secret and you thought it was protecting someone and you turned out and found out that it was actually destructive, this is a reminder that the truth might hurt, but lies will haunt you. So I'm your host, 360 the Poet. I thank y'all for tuning in and tapping in. Real talk heals, y'all. So, and real people, we grow. So until I breathe on y'all again, take care of yourselves. What's up, Tawana Eccles Jones? I ain't see you this weekend. Take care of yourselves and each other. I'ma holler at y'all in a minute.
Keep your radio dial right here. You're locked into the hottest news station on the planet. High 702.5 in FM sound. Blazing today's hip hop, R&B, and pop music. Keeping your radio on fire. Bringing you the hottest, realest, riskiest talk shows live 24/7 on hot 702.5fm.com.